In today's work setting, it's just not nationality alone, but also the diversity that we see in terms of belief sets and the things that we consider important in our lives also make people different. So while in this conversation today, we will mainly focus on multinational teams, we shouldn't forget that multicultural is a broader definition. In any organization, people are the biggest asset. This is, this is a given, right? And in today's workplace, especially in the US, most organizations are multicultural for all the reasons we spoke about. And also, US is a vibrant immigrant community. When we have this kind of overt expression of our personas, it leads to potential frictions in workplace. And that could lead to lack of collaboration, etc. And eventually, it could impact negatively on the performance of the whole organization. There are many challenges, but all arise from misalignment. I would like to characterize as three C's is what I call as the challenges that multicultural teams face. The three C's are communication, coordination, and connectedness. And these are the three challenges that we've often seen in multicultural teams. Communication is obviously the most important of these because that decides how the tone is set in the organization. What's important is to remove all ambiguity in communication. We tend to assume that people understand what you're talking about. That you cannot do. You need to be explicit about your intent and what we are trying to achieve as a group. And one of the other common things that we do, especially in the US, is we have a lot of cultural jargons and slangs. We kick off the meeting, this problem is at the pointy end of the spear, and so on. These are, phrases that we understand, but we cannot assume that everybody understands. And in fact, this could mean something much more negative in other contexts. So it's quite important to avoid these kind of jargons and slangs. The other thing to do is to clarify expectations, because often we work in an organization and we want to achieve some things, but if the people we work with don't understand what we are trying to achieve, that would be a challenge. And last but not least, within communication, it's very important to make oneself available for discussions, not just assume that a common discussion is enough. Also available on one-on-ones to clarify what was discussed in a meeting. For coordination, one of the things that Harvard Business Review, for example, recommends is to have cultural ambassadors within teams. They act as either adhesives or bridges, according to Harvard Business Review. Adhesion is they actually connect these teams and then bring them together. And when that is not possible, people can act as bridges so they can translate from one team to the other. So this is important for coordination. And what is also important is to lay out the processes that you're trying to create very clearly, like I spoke about in the example with the Japanese organization. For connectedness, there are a couple of things that help. One is having in-person organization, in-person gatherings. So people meet together, because a lot of times having face-to-face is the only way you can understand people with different beliefs and cultural backgrounds. The other recommendation that is made by experts in multicultural settings is to don't have a large group of multicultural people, but break them down into smaller groups and rotate among the groups so people have an opportunity to work in intimate settings with multicultural colleagues and get to know them better than have a large group where this can be quite lost.
And we call it TOPGear coaching. TOP stands for targeted on-the-job practice. The reason we named it that way is because between Sundar and myself, we have a rich background in technology and complementary background as well. So using that combined background, we are able to provide a targeted on-the-job practical assignments to the participants so that they can improve in whatever goal they have.